the 0-1 for the week, folks. Stay tuned. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here in the Oscars of the Internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for May 22nd, 2022, with your host, Mr. 2448, and wrap it up so long. Oh no, what? Ah, no. OBS, why?
Hello.
OBS, no.
My mic selected for OBS?
That's-
Everything got plugged in different spots.
That's fun.
What's bad is that happened after kind of decided to mess with it yesterday, so yeah.
I know I had to plug in or unplug and replug in my mic the other day because OBS was like, Mike, what mic? I see no mic. I don't know what you're talking about. But it is 13 through 16 this week. But did you watch Revice for this week? Okay, how do you feel about Hina in her Aguilera writer form, which feels confusing to say?
I mean, it kind of does.
I
feel like I like the suit in motion and active.
Yeah.
It don't look as bad.
But you know what a dumb thing is? So apparently, we're getting a Jean Aguilera special on TTFC soon-ish. And they showed a little commercial for it, you know, promoting the fact that the Bale special just ended this week. So here's a new special to kind of, I guess, replace it. I don't know how long it's supposed to be, but I guess what they showed in that. So they showed Jean and Aguilera next to each other. And then they swiped and then showed this image I'm throwing to you in the Discord chat. That is Jean and also Aguilera, but it's not the same helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a different suit.
Mm-hmm.
And she also got taller by a couple inches or so. Because, let me grab the other image just so you have a comparison. She got taller, right? Or is it just me?
It might just be your eyes playing with.
Probably.
The
yeah.
main reason I say that, look at the points on. They're almost in the same spot.
Yeah,
Could be the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, glancing, yeah, it looks like it, but I think it's the coloration.
Yeah. Also, the fuck is this extra suit that Aguilera has? Because it's not a different Vice Amp, because that's clearly Queen Bee in both.
Yeah.
And apparently this weekend driver is supposed to be a mass-produced driver, just like Overdemons is supposed to be mass-produced, because now they've said that Overdemons is a totally different rider instead of a form change on the website and stuff. So Overdemons is mass-produced demons, I guess. But like,
you know, did that happen before or after this week's episode was released?
It happened after this week's episode release.
So then that means that was probably... I get the feeling that was probably last minute.
Yeah, because
we
there's
made
still
it a very big point within the episode to, you know, basically saying yes.
But the funny thing is, there's still a spot in the form changes for demons. For Overdemons, it just goes to a broken link. And there's no picture anymore.
I get the feeling that was a literal last. Hence why we got that one screenshot for like 2 seconds. That way they could be like, no, see, no, it was always that.
I will say this. They can say it's mass-produced all they want. Unless we get a squad of Overdemons and a squad of Aguileras, I guess, it doesn't matter. Because we'll only ever see one person using it.
Fair.
You can say it's a mass-produced driver all you want. Unless someone else slams that thing on and gets the same suit.
Or
even the different... What? Oh.
George, when he used the Demon's driver, he had the same suit. Can't even go that far.
Yeah. Unless we get 5 people slamming this driver on and all getting the same suit, it's not happening. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna need a squad of these for you to convince me that this is supposed to be a mass-produced driver. Otherwise, that's just a random lore bit that doesn't matter.
At the very least, 2 people at the same time using the driver.
Right. Yeah, that too. That would help too.
But yeah, that's why when you were saying that, it's like, Because technically we've had that with demons that did not actually change anything.
I've also seen discussion about Revice being in kind of a slump or a drop in quality. I think the problem is that same problem we hit in all rider shows around this time of we're stalling. We gotta stall until we hit a certain point so we can actually progress the story forward.
Well, I feel like this one's a little bit different than normal. They want to do stuff for female riders.
Yes.
They want to do stuff and plot. They have basically sidelined our main rider.
Look at Iki!
Like, whoops.
And unfortunately, all of Daiji's stuff these past couple weeks have been, I want to change Phoenix. You're doing a bad job of it. Also, here's you getting put in the dumpster every week.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing when you see the main rider get put in the dumpster every week by final villain group kind of deal. It's another when you see the secondary rider constantly. Main rider who doesn't have any bearing on moving that part of the plot forward.
And it's from everybody. It's not just one thing. Every villain has taken a turn putting Daiji in the dumpster.
It's one of those. I feel like that's probably why it feels like a bigger something. It's weird because it's almost like our main writer isn't the main writer.
Yeah, it's almost like the writer has just been like, I don't want to do anything with Icky and Vice until we get the final form, which we finally got our first real hints in the show about. Because it's like, you must use Geef's power to defeat Geef, so, right, they get it, their version of a Geef stamp, essentially. Alright.
And, you know, I think what I feel is, case we don't thought that we could move forward with them.
Pretty much.
We still have not fully addressed the matter of how they're planning on stopping Iki from disappearing. We kind of have a plot point they can be following.
Right, but what are we gonna do about it?
That's kind of the point of writing a show.
Yeah.
You can do whatever the frick you want to.
I also feel like we've ran into a problem that a lot of writer shows run into late game, just a little bit sooner. We're out of villains we can punch and get rid of on a weekly basis. That aren't important.
Yeah, because when all of the writers are powered up on those weekly villains there's not really anything left.
Yeah, because, like, who do we have villain-wise? We have Gifu, who's just hanging out in his little pocket dimension doing nothing.
And is Uber gonna be final form villain kind of concept?
Right. We have Apollo Geistman that I'm pretty sure is first to fall to final form.
More than likely.
We have Bale,
which
in
a typical writer show, Bale would be Daiji's final villain kind of concept.
Right,
but it feels so out of place right now.
Right, but it feels like Genta has to be here for us to solve that problem, and the show doesn't like having Genta around.
It almost feels like Bale would be actually the first to fall to final form, whereas Apollo Geistman might be second only because of Daiji finally breaking to the point where, like, I need help.
We resummon Kagero because that seems, I guess that's the problem.
And I feel like they want to hint that that's what's gonna have to happen, but at the same time, they're not going forward with that either, and it's like, we gotta do something, show.
Yeah.
Just throwing them in the dumpster every week is not doing something.
We have this new Hell Giftarian that showed up that's got a voice role, so I guess he's a new villain, but I feel like he's here to job out to somebody soon.
The only thing I can think is they're writing though as if we got two. And if that's the case, then Bale and Gifu are gonna be Iki. Final two villains. And maybe this new Fairy and Apollo Geistman is Daiji's?
That's my only thought, yeah.
Maybe they're doing it in that kind of a setup, but that still doesn't... I don't know, because that still doesn't set right. Especially,
Yeah,
you know,
it's-
with us late game adding another rider in. I feel like we
Yeah.
need one more villain.
Yeah. Especially if we possibly add to Tamaki into all this as well. Which, honestly, just making him a second Overdemons. Just give us a second Overdemon suit and make him the second Overdemon. So we have 2 Overdemons.
I feel like that is probably going to be what'll happen more so than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And my bigger question is, where are we going with that? You know?
I don't know. That's my thing with Revice. I don't know where we're going.
Because it feels like we're having a dual main rider concept now, which is weird. We decided to literally dumpster Daiji plot for most of the show, and now we're gonna try to make him the secondary main rider, I guess, technically. That's what just feels so off.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the main reason. And it's in a slump at the moment because it kind of feels like we're doing stuff that's not normal, which is throwing everyone off.
You know, I'm not sure what's better. Us not really dealing with villains and just kind of like stalling out, or us rider kicking the same villain every week and not progressing. I'm not sure which one of those is worse.
Personally, I feel like it's the rider kicking the same villain week after week.
Yeah, because then it turns your last remaining villain into a fucking jobber.
Yeah. And it's basically a case of, okay, well, what plot hole are you going to use to not die this week?
Because unfortunately, Masamune and Evolt fall into that. I feel bad saying that because I know some people love Evolt, but I'm like, the man got rider kicked so many fucking times by the end of that series. Anyone could have beat him. It's only because he kept pulling bullshit out of his ass that he survived every week.
If the show had ended earlier, then yeah, Evolt would have been a good villain. We pushed too far.
Yeah.
And it's not that you can't have villains that are hard to pull on beat, but it's a case of when you start getting upwards of 10 weeks in a row of the villain finding some way to cheat death, it gets to where it don't matter anymore. And they both did that.
So, pre-orders just went up for the Weekend Driver and the Queen Bee Vice stamp. And it does mention that second form from the TTFC, and it's not specifying exactly what it is. It's showing in text that it's a thing, it's a function in the driver, but it's not telling us what. It's not even giving us the sound effect for it. If I'm going to take a shot in the dark, I'm guessing it's some sort of clock up mode, more or less. It's a temporary power up, or like a temporary mode change for her to do some big fancy finisher stuff, and then she kind of drops down into the regular mode. That would be my guess, based off kind of the assumption here, because it is using, I think, the starting sound for like one of the finishers she did this week. I'll link you this image, although it's not super helpful. Because it is all in Japanese. But that Subvert Up is like one of her finisher things that she did this week, so I'm guessing it's just it's a finisher mode change thing. I don't know. Also, I love that pre-orders went up for this, and we still don't have the Bale Driver as a toy that people can buy. This took priority.
I mean, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But I guess any other thoughts from Revice this week?
No?
Alright then, let's get into 01. It is 13 through 16 this week. The final 4 episodes of the first arc of the show. Any thoughts on them before we hit the recaps?
Not besides the fact that I love that you mentioned the first arc instead of, you know, naming it like the end of Metsubo Shinrai, because yeah, that's not a thing right now.
I mean, we know it's not the end of Metsubo Shinrai. I don't even know what it's officially supposed to be called.
I don't know either right offhand now that I'm thinking about it.
Writer Wiki says secret maneuvering at MetsuboJinrai.net. And they say the second arc from 17 to 30 is Workplace 5 Turns Competition Zaya Enterprise. And then 31 through 40 is Struggle Hidden Manufacturing. And then the final 4 episodes is Takeoff Towards the Future Hidden Intelligence. But let's get into the episodes proper. With episode 13, My Job as the President's Secretary. So Arto's in Shining Hopper fighting Mr. Assassin. He's doing well. He's getting all the attacks in and stuff. And then Mr. Assassin blocks one and is like, I have figured out how to beat you. Punch. So Shining Hopper is incomplete and is only slightly more powerful than regular Rising Hopper. Oops. Wazzle then has to evac them with Mammoth after Arto ends up taking a shot for Izu and spraining his hand, kind of. You know, for getting hit in the chest with like 5 missiles, I don't know why it's only his wrist that's hurt badly enough to be bandaged.
Fair.
After evacuating them, they're in the Names van in some alleyway somewhere to regroup. Naruto decides to go find our missing Mr. Assassin copy. Fua follows after him. Izu Wazo do a little bit of bonding as they try to figure out how to fix Shining to make it complete. And that's when Yaiba shows up, points a gun in all their faces, like, why are you in one of my vans? We follow up at Arto and Fua, and we get the thing you were talking about last night, was Fua being like, transform, it will make the pain and make everything hurt less.
And I swear last week when I made the comment about that, I did not realize it was literally the next episode.
Yeah. it is such a Fua thing for him to know.
Well, I mean, he did just kind of have to go through that.
Yeah. But they're getting hounded by Dodo chicks, and they're fighting them. because they found the brother getting hounded by those chicks. It gets away, and the chicks have to get blown up by arriving Hirobi and Jin, who are like, truce, so we can take down Mr. Assassin together, and the both of them are like, no. And so Hirobi and Jin leave. Yaiba also shows up to go, no, to this truce. So now our three main riders are together and trying to figure out a plan of attack to try to do it, since maybe the three of us can handle him together. They won't.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Two of them are gonna be stuck fighting a bunch of Magia Dodo chicks for like the whole fight. But they even know it's like, it might not be enough, but we're gonna try anyway. So Wazzle gives them the location of like this stage that all of the 5 human gears that were Mr. Assassin, well, the 4 plus the one that isn't him just yet, performed at. So go there, you'll find the 5th one. So they leave. A little bit more between Izu and Wazzle as they head back to the lab to complete Shining Hopper, because Izu's taken all of the keys besides Rising with her, because the combat data from them should fix it. This is also where we find out that neither one of them have a backup because of their involvement with 01, so they can't be backed up.
Also keep that in the back pocket for several times later.
Yeah. It feels weird to be like, okay, so you don't have a backup right now. Does that mean you physically can't have a backup, or does that mean you just don't have a backup? Because those are two different things.
So does that mean there's some kind of hard-coded thing where any human gear that knows anything about the 01 project has to not have a backup, or do future human gears that know, are they allowed to have a backup then?
I think it's a case of, if you are involved in the creation and maintenance and like whatever of 01, you can't have a backup because you are privy to very specific knowledge that would be bad if it got in the wrong hands. Hello, guy. But if you just know that Aruto is 01, that's nothing.
Well, you know why I say it that way.
Yeah. Because like Wazzle and Izu, as we'll find out, both have like Aruto's combat data. And like that would be a bad thing if that ended up in the wrong hands. Plus like who knows what else about 01 if that's in their system.
I also feel like there is more than just that reason as to why Izu doesn't have a backup. But
Probably.
that kind of more plays into later in the show, so...
Yeah. Yeah, we find that out. We follow up with our 3 riders. They find the brother. They find him at the location. They save him from getting hacked by Mr. Assassin. So they fight him and a bunch of the Dodo chicks. Meanwhile, we follow up with Izu. She's at the lab. She puts in the keys, but keys aren't enough. It requires the direct combat data that is in her storage. So that has to be downloaded. But in doing so, it will take her offline because the reasons.
Because there's not a safe way of copying and pasting data. Just saying.
That's what they say.
I feel like that is a extremely convenient plot hole right there.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as how what happened 2 episodes from now to Izu.
Yeah. So Izu's ready to make that sacrifice, but Wazzle steps in, takes the sacrifice himself because you're the one that's better equipped to be with Aruto. I'm old. Let me do this for you. So he does. We get a little scene of like Karnosuke talking to him about Izu as a little memory. But before he shuts down, he gives Izu the pocket watch, which we will never see again after this episode. Which is a little upsetting.
Well, I mean, it's only about as upsetting. I want to say the end of this match is actually the last time we see Shining without it being part of Shining Assault.
There is an episode later where we get Shining, but
There is one more? Okay.
Yes. It's like late into the show. It's a random fight between like Aruto and Hirobi that he goes Shining. It's like the greenhouse gardening episodes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. He
Which
just
I
randomly
don't
goes Shining
understand
for that.
why on that one.
Yeah, he randomly goes Shining for that fight.
But yeah. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, that will be the last time for a good 20 episodes, roughly.
Here's the thing. This batch is the last batch we see Breaking Mammoth, though. Aruto never accesses Breaking Mammoth again.
Yeah.
Even though we'll see the Giegers later, we will never see Breaking Mammoth again. I assume we don't get the pocket watch anymore because I don't think Izu's outfit has pockets. As weird as that is to say. So they don't have anywhere for her to like put it, for her to pull it out for a scene. So she has to be in a scene where it's in her hand already.
Fair.
And that would require a cutaway cut back to slip it into her hand.
Oh yeah, because they totally haven't ever done that before for most transformations.
Yeah.
How many off-screen transformations have we had in Rider shows?
A lot late to the show.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, she's got that pocket watch now, so Shining is now complete. She takes it, delivers it to Aruto, and actually uses it to block a shot for him because he gets untransformed in the middle of the fight. But he accesses Shining at full power, just curb stomps Mr. Assassin, and for the only time in the series, uses the extra finisher stuff that's in the driver. Like the Mega, Giga, Terra, all that bite stuff. This is the only time he ever uses that.
I thought that got used one other time.
According to the writer wiki, and I'm willing to agree with them because I don't remember it besides this fight. Yeah, Mr. Assassin goes kaboom. He is dead. But Hirobi takes the key, so they don't get to prove his intelligence's innocence. Oh no, it's a somber victory. And also, Guy is nearby, overseeing this because Guy is a shithead. Of course, he's watching all this. But
Well,
that takes this episode.
To be fair, he's got to see if 01 is reaching 1000%.
Yeah.
Had to.
That takes us to episode 14. We are the Astronaut Brothers. We're at Zaya in space as the Rise Hopper is being delivered back into Zaya so it can be then delivered out again. Which it does immediately. It almost hits the both of them because Aruto's late for work and he summons the bike. Question. Why is there not several bikes loaded into the satellite?
Answer, because that costs money.
Fair. I'm just like, why would you not load this with several bikes? Why would you only load it with the one that you then have to spend all of this time and money launching back into space to shove it back into the satellite for Aruto to then use again?
Well, you know, to this, the bigger question is, does Breaking Mammoth have to be shipped back up into space every time after it's done being used? Or does Zaya just yank it up? Because if Zaya does that part of it, then why can't she do the bike?
I would assume Breaking Mammoth just flies back to the satellite.
So then why can't bike go back to phone and go flying back up?
I don't know.
And like that one, I'm like, which also makes me realize that, you know, in the movie, when it's, you know, kind of grounded, it makes more sense just to have the bike be hand delivered when he needs it.
Yeah. I mean, it gives Raiden something to do.
Yeah. Besides, you know, proceed to go all dodo and try to cause the end of the world.
Right. A part of me wishes that, like, him and Naki got to do something in that movie. And I also feel like the best way to do that is to cut Guy. Because, like, what does Guy contribute in that movie that couldn't be done by anyone else?
I mean, yeah.
Like, we lose the one joke at the end of that movie where everyone was like, we are never working for you. Piss off. None of us have forgiven you.
You could still have him help certain even.
Right. Right, but I kind of imagine that in fight with, but removing Thouser and then putting in Naki and Ikazuchi, because we technically have never gotten all four of the Metsubo Jinrai riders together for a fight scene outside of the Metsubo Jinrai movie.
I mean, true.
Which I think is one of those, like, we should have gotten that in the show.
Because I was sitting there thinking, well, we have kind of, but, you know, that was with the arc being one of the four, so yeah.
Which also, Naki's the only one to have never been possessed by the arc.
Yeah.
Which is another weird thing. I'm like, why? Everyone else got a turn.
Maybe the arc was scared that Boo would just come and rip the arc out of.
Fair.
That one I could understand.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, back in the episode. They're upset at Aruto over this, so the two of them go. By the way, they're both Hema gears. The older one, Raiden, takes his helmet off and shows he's a Hema gear. Also, these spacesuits might be the same spacesuits from Forza. It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it wouldn't me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we go to Ames. They're having a meeting with Yaiba, and they're going over Metsubo Jinrai intel they have, and kind of point out, well, we've got the Metsu in the Jin, but we don't have a Bo or a Rai, and those might be people involved, but we're not certain.
I mean, we also have the .NET.
Right, but no one wants to acknowledge the .NET.
I don't care, Mr. Assassin, part of it.
Same. But they're in the dark on that. Meanwhile, we kept the Hirobi and Jin. They have enough of the Zetsumari's keys to move forward. So they're off to phase 2, and they're off to go get a friend. Which takes us to the office with Naruto, as he's then confronted by our astronaut brothers, Subaru and Raiden. Raiden, he is very angry. He is almost as angry as Fua is on a daily basis. Except he has more chill than Fua at times. But he decides, I'm dragging you to the Space Center so you can see how much work we have to do to put that stupid bike back on the goddamn satellite. So, just so you know. But once they get there, Yaiba and Fua also are there because they want to talk to the two of them because, hey, Metsubo Jinrai keeps having intel on exactly where human gears that are reaching singularity are. Maybe someone with direct access to Zaya would be telling them that exact information, and the two of you have direct access to Zaya. Are either one of you working for Metsubo Jinrai? And Raiden takes incredible offense to this and wants to start a fight directly with Fua. And I do love that both of them, several times this episode, grab each other by the collar just to yell and shout at each other, only for two other people to break them up. Half the time, it's Izu grabbing Fua. Which, I am surprised he doesn't have something to say about that.
I mean, he probably wasn't paying attention.
Fair. But this is when Jin shows up. He fights them with some other human gears that got hacked. He's on the back foot, but then he tries to hack Subaru, and Raiden takes the hit. He tries to hack him, but he resists because of rage, presumably. He just rips the things out, just like, I'm not getting hacked today, go away. So Jin then leaves. They regroup inside. They talk about the Zaya satellite and stuff. We also find out that Raiden survived Daybreak, which is another one of those, that's suspicious. But he's like, I'm not suspicious. I'm on your side. Hell, let's go find Metsubo Jinrai and go fucking kick their ass. That's when we follow up with Yaiba. She's off to go talk to Guy about concerns over Fua being very angry and how that's going to probably get him killed. But he doesn't care because, like, hey, that's fine. He's a pawn. Because Guy is incredibly shithead. But once we're at Daybreak, Raiden ends up leading them through these tunnels to Jin. Except it turns out it's the other way around because Raiden was an unwilling double agent. That is actually Ikazuchi, the third member of Metsubo Jinrai. And he transforms using a dodo key. Because they didn't want to give him a different key.
Because reasons.
Yeah. I will also note, it is a non-broken dodo key. So it is a separate key from the one Mr. Assassin has used all the time. That is important for the next episode. For, like, one scene that only I care about. But he attacks Naruto and Fua, and as he's beating them up and stuff, he's collecting their different progress keys and stuff because they're needed for the plan. And as they spill outside, he gets enough progress keys, and he summons all of the mechanical animal things to go into the Ark and revives the Ark, and it blows a hole in the side of the Metsubo Jinrai headquarters room to reveal the printer, and the printer prints off the Assault Wolf key. Presumably for Naki, who the Ark thinks, I guess, is nearby to do this.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah. But Hirobi heads out with this, gives it to Jin, starts to give it to Jin, but because Izu shows up with the Authorized Buster, Arto's shot with it actually causes it to fall out of Jin's hand, and Fua picks it up and goes, this is a wolf key. It's mine now, because wolf keys are my keys. And Hirobi's like, you can't use that unless you're a part of the team. And Fu was like, fuck you, I do what I want. Apparently, Hirobi has never seen him keep breaking open Progrise keys.
Clearly not.
So Fua goes assault Wolf, fights Ikuzuchi, tears him apart, even with especially with the Authorized Buster. So Ikuzuchi goes kaboom, but it then backfires on Fua and starts to try to kill him. So they run away, and that's where we end the episode. So how'd you feel about our first half?
I'm kind of the.
I know.
Comes through.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of at times pains me to know that after the match we get the job stuff.
Yeah, because this is really good. Like, hey, we're ramping up stuff. We're doing cool stuff.
And then it just drops.
Yeah. But we'll continue on into the second half then with episode 15, their respective ends. So at Ames, they are plotting an assault on Mitsubo Jinrai since they know officially they're at Daybreak, which I feel like they should have already known they were at Daybreak, but whatever. And then we get a scene of Jin burying Ikuzuchi's Dodoki next to an already buried grave, where pretty much it's said to be Mr. Assassin. So the other Dodoki is over there, which means there are two separate Dodokis, which means technically Mr. Assassin could probably be revived again.
I mean, could, but won't.
Right. We gotta save that for the final stage show, where even Mr. Assassin takes a turn as being the host for the arc. I'm not kidding. That actually happened in the final stage show. It's what makes Naki not being possessed by the arc even stranger. But Hirobi waves this off as like just a pointless thing. Like, why would we bury the keys and waste them? We could actually use these keys. But this brings us to Arto, who, along with Izu and Subaru, are visiting his family's grave. Which, this was never originally fan subbed, and it got subbed for this official release from Shout Factory. But we get to see the names and the when they respectively died of different members of Arto's family. And I feel like all of these dates and stuff kind of explain the thing about Arto's character, especially, you know, from the end of this episode and the next episode. Did you make note of this at all?
No, I did not.
Or did you notice anything about it?
I did not.
Okay, so the first name on there is Ichiko Hidden, who died March 8th, 1993, which apparently Arto was born on May 1st, 1997. So that's before he died, and I assume that is a grandparent of some kind. Then his parents, Soryo Hidden and Yoshihino Hidden, died on July 25th, 1997. So, like, 2 months after he was born. And then Soryo Hidden Humagear, so the Humagear Soryo. So that confirms that, I guess, that Humagear is supposed to look like Soryo, the human. I guess. But he died on December 7th, 2007, which that is the day of Daybreak. And then Kuryosuke Hidden died on August 30th, which is 2 days before the series premiered. So he technically died 2 days before the first episode. I would assume. Looking at this and seeing how much of his family members have died, 4 of which within a not very long time frame for him. I have to wonder if Arto has any family left at the moment.
I feel like probably no.
I feel like that's why he cares so much about the human gears, because it's all he's got. And I feel like Arto's just kind of lonely. So he kind of latches onto the human gears as family because, well, he's lost his parents. He's lost his second dad. He's lost his granddad. He's presumably also lost his grandmother. He's got nobody left. And I feel like the thought of losing yet another person to add to that list on that grave, I think that makes him panic. And I think that's like, oh God, no, I can't do this again. At least that's what I feel like when we get to later in this episode.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anywho, he gives a quick prayer before just talking about that kind of stuff. Subaru's not really feeling it with Raiden because, hey, he kind of betrayed us. I don't really care for that. But Arto's like, he was still your brother. And Izu, it clicks for her because it's like, oh, hey, I just lost my brother. And like, I get it. And he like asks her if she wants to like do a quick prayer for, I presume, Koronosuke out of everyone. Because Koronosuke is the only person I think she knows out on that list. Because I don't think she ever met Soryo proper. I think.
Assume not.
Unless, well, no. I don't think she ever met him proper in Ray Regenerations either. But yeah. As they're doing this, Zay alerts them to Ames' assault, and we see Fua and Yaiba fight Hirobi and Jin. And Fua, even though he is already injured, is like, I'm still gonna use the key that's killing me because it's gonna let me kill somebody! Damn it! So, fight spills out to a lake. They continue fighting. Arto shows up, fights Hirobi, gets the better of him due to Shining. And Fua also gets the better of Jin thanks to Assault Wolf. And is ready to rider kick him, only for Hirobi to get contacted by Ark and go, don't let him kill Jin. And Hirobi's like, okay, and takes the kick for him. And Hirobi is severely damaged. Izu, for whatever reason, it still baffles me why she does this. She gets close enough to like report that Hirobi is like offline, and Jin is upset about that and like stabs her, but doesn't try to hack her. That moment still baffles me. It feels a touch out of character for Izu.
Yeah.
I feel like she just got close, therefore she can be injured for the next episode. Yeah. But yeah, she gets injured. Arto rushes her back to the lab while Jin takes Hirobi back to Mitsuba Jinrai headquarters. Meanwhile, Guy's just watching all of this going, I've almost got my next plan, or next steps in place. As Izu's taking in the hidden intelligence repairs, they end up putting her in the printer so she can get repaired, because Arto doesn't know how to repair a human gear. So it's probably better we let the printer handle this. But Jin tries to do the same thing for Hirobi, for the printer that's in Mitsuba Jinrai space, but Hirobi's like, no, you must reach your singularity, and to do that, I must die. Except I won't die. Bye. So this causes the Ark to boot up fully, and it gives Jin an army of human gears to go wreck the city with. Which our riders get alerted of that night. Fua and Yaiba try to go handle it. Fua is too injured to even really fight that much. So Yaiba's like, I'm yoinking your key out and I'm taking away your shot riser to go use it for myself. Sit in the corner. You're not even allowed to have the shot riser on you to protect yourself. No, because I'll know you put the damn key back in. No.
Knows him too good.
Yeah. Jin has Giegers on his side, and they end up knocking Yaiba away as well. Which Arto arrives in Mammoth to take out the Giegers. Final appearance of Mammoth. Goodbye, Mammoth. He has a chat with Jin, pointing out, "Oh, you want Human Gears to be your friends, except you keep hurting them and hacking them and turning them against what they want. Kind of a hypocrite." So Zaya contacts Arto at this point to be like, "By the way, you can put the assault grip from the Wolf key onto the Shining key to make Shining Assault Hopper. Do that. You'll win the next fight. Bye." So he does that, and I will note that Arto gently takes the assault grip off. It doesn't even take that much effort. Remember that, it's gonna hurt later with Fua. But as the sun rises, Arto goes Shining Assault Hopper and starts his fight with Jin. And it goes into episode 16. This is the dawn of Zaya. So Izu gets caught up on events with Zaya as she's kind of like glitching in Zaya because she's not quite 100%. We see Arto fighting in Shining Assault Hopper. He just runs through Human Gears like it's no trouble. But a combination of Giegers and the attached shotgun with Jin actually puts Arto on the back foot and allows him to get swarmed by the Giegers and almost killed. Except he gets pulled into Zaya, so he can talk with Izu real quick. And they have a cute little moment before she's like, "By the way, you should use this shine system thing. It will help." So he activates the shine system, which are these a bunch of blue crystals that he can use as like pretty much orbiters from like any shmup game. They fire lasers, they block stuff, they kind of let him fly. I think they let him fly.
Yes and
yeah. But they let him just curb stomp Jin, so he pretty much has Jin back in the corner. Face him down, Arto kind of laments that, Jin only learned to hate humanity instead of seeing what humanity offered for himself. And if things were different, maybe they wouldn't be fighting. But Jin's like, "I need to kill you because I need to destroy humanity. I'm gonna rider kick." Arto does his rider kick. They connect. Arto wins out. Jin has his transformation broken and then explodes. Arto just recovers the Flying Falcon key. Fairly sad. It's a little somber victory again because it's we beat Jin and we stopped this, but maybe it didn't have to end this way. Meanwhile, Guy just walks in the midst of Jinrai's headquarters, just walks over Hirobi's body and just gets his keys for Thouser. I guess because he inputted it earlier. We follow up with Arto. Izu's back online 100%. And the two of them head to a board meeting where Arto's residency as president is up in the air. It's a vote to see if he's staying on or not. And it's nearly unanimous, as the vice president is the only one that says no, he's not allowed. But then his posse's like, "You should probably put your hand down. No one agrees with you." And he's like, I changed my mind. No, I like Arto as president. So Arto gets to stay on as president. We also see that Ames has taken Hirobi and they've got him locked up in the basement because they think he's still alive, I guess?
not wrong.
That would be my only thought of why they have him locked up in the basement and not a pile of scrap on the floor. This is where we find out that Yaiba is leaving to go back to Zaya because her tenure at Ames is up. And also Fu was like, "I don't know what to do anymore. I'm not angry anymore. What is my life without anger?" End of our episode has it at Christmas time. Unfortunately, our Christmas present to our writers is remotely hacked human gears by the Ark that attack the city. Arto and Fua intercept them, take them out, but oh no, that's a bad thing. News spreads. Arto's at a press conference trying to explain this. Can't really offer much, but we're trying to improve the security. And that's when Guy shows up to be like, I'm going to buy out Hidden Intelligence and own the fuck out of it. And that is where we end the first arc of the show. So how do you feel as this like end of first arc and the setup for the second? That it certainly goes places.
I feel like if it wasn't for us bogged down right out the gate, would have happened on the show. The fact that it does that kind of weakens it a little bit because you know that the high point and then falls.
Yeah, I feel like they picked the worst way to present that. If it was just presented in a better way that wasn't this best of 5, it would have been fine. Yeah. Making it a best of 5 was the worst possible decision. Like, if it was just in the context of, I'm taking over Hidden Intelligence, I'm setting up all of these competitions to prove that under your tenure, the human gears are useless and garbage, and like it culminates in the vote to like see if Daybreak Town gets to get repaired or not. Perfect. You give a reason for having all these arcs happen. You have a reason for Guy to cheat, but not cheat overtly, because that would get him in trouble with the public. Because, like, he gets upset at every single person that throws a Raid Riser on, like, when they do it in public. Because, stop that shit. You're making me look bad. I don't care if you're helping me win. You're making me look bad. Stop making me look bad. Stop it.
I feel like my thing would have been one of two things should have happened. We either should have just abandoned the other part of it and let the vote be the thing, and be a lead up to it concept.
Yeah.
Or we should have left the 5-part thing, but instead of doing 2 episodes per job, maybe trim it to 1. I don't think it would have had as big of a problem, because you could kind of make that be the B plot and still have the stuff be the focal point. The big thing is the fact that they made the job battle instead of the plot.
Yeah.
If it was the B plot, then it would have been fine.
Yeah, otherwise it's the good 0-1 content I like, and it makes me hopeful that like the comic we're supposed to get, I think, later this year, because I know the Kuga manga actually has like pre-orders on Amazon, and it's dated for, find it real quick, November. I don't know if that's also going to be around when the 0-1 comic starts or what, but the Kuga manga has pre-orders up for November, so maybe sometime around then.
Maybe.
Cross fingers, hope for the best. Also, it's like $13 for the first volume. I don't know how many chapters that is of the manga, but that's honestly not too bad. Oh, it's like 224 pages, so that's a fairly chunky one. I'm trying to think how many. One of the Pokemon volumes I have is. Does not have a page count. Does not have a page count listed on it. 1 second. Let me pull up one of them real quick. Okay, yeah, that's about the same amount as one of the Pokemon manga volumes I have, and they do about 9 chapters or so of a manga. But it's plenty of content for a single read. So I might put a pre-order in just to have like the first volume of this and see if it's any good.
Right.
But yeah, good 0-1 stuff. I'm liking 0-1. I just it's the next part of the show starting next week that I'm like, this is the part of the show where I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it on a rewatch. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then. Like I said, next week it is the start of the job competition stuff. It'll be 17 through 20. Between now and then, though, Wednesday is us hopefully on the same page in Star Citizen, so we can actually do more stuff.
I mean,
And
in
hopefully-
theory, yes. I'm sitting at the port. So
Mhm. I have to get to the port.
I also realized that there is no medical area there, so we'll have to jump to the closest one, or may just go down to Orison, which
Yeah.
I might do since the event's going on.
Mhm. Thursday will be more Rider Chronicle. It'll be the original Great Battle game and Great Dodgeball 3. And Saturday will be Rampant Gaming with something. I don't know if you filled it in on the schedule.
I mean, there is something there, but it's still not hard set because
Yeah.
when I set that, I was not planning on 2 weeks of co-op being Star Citizen already.
Yeah.
Wednesday will be
Oh.
the bigger determination on that one.
Yeah. So it's in the air. You'll find out sometime later. But that'll do us, folks. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away that Philly go at TGS on Twitter. Gives you updates on what life. Next mission point Discord and Jack. It's this sort of thing. Drop by, say hi. See you Wednesday, folks.